Good afternoon. My name is Elis Borde. I'm representing the Center for Studies, Policies and Information on Social Determinants of Health of the National School of Public Health in Rio de Janeiro, which forms part of the Fiocruz Foundation, which you already saw, the beautiful castle in the video. As you know, there was a Brazilian Commission on Social Determinants of Health, which was established in 2006, just 1 year after the Commission on Social Determinants of Health was created on global level. And the Brazilian Commission, they published a report on the social causal and health inequities in Brazil, which is the final report of the Commission, and made some recommendations. Among these, there was the recommendation to establish an SDH observatory for monitoring health inequities, to develop training courses on social determinants of health, to develop studies and research projects to just strengthen this kind of research, also to develop communication strategies to diverse social sectors, and to create a high-level office. Some of these recommendations were not taken up so far, but on several of these issues we have been working on our center, which was coordinated by Alberto Pellegrini, who retired this year, and the center will now be coordinated by Mauricio Barreto and Patricia Ribeiro, which is very nice to have them here as well. So the general objective is to support activities developed by government and civil society for the promotion for health equity through the dissemination and production of knowledge, and also training personnel on social determinants of health. So we have several lines of action, basically 5. We have the observatory, we have the training activities and research, promotion, participation on collaborative networks. For researchers and managers, there are several initiatives, web-based and some also in person. I will talk about one initiative in the end. And also a very strong line of action, which is information communication about social determinants of health, which is the portal and the virtual library on social determinants of health. So the observatory, the general objective is monitoring trends on health inequities in Brazil in order to support policies and programs to combat them. Specific objectives include to monitor, to analyze the impact of policies and programs. We do not do policy analysis, but we do provide some support for research that's being done on policy impact evaluation, to promote studies on health inequities, contribute to the improvement of information systems by identifying shortcomings that we identify in trying to make sense of the health inequities through the observatory, because there are several variables that we do not have access to, and So this is just an example from the observatory. This is just the graphs that come out of our observatory. This is on mortality by diabetes, and according to use of schooling, the use of schooling is one of the indicators that best works for Brazil, as the indicator has high quality. Here another example, cannot focus on. So regarding the research, we are engaged in several research projects, or at least supporting some of them. One is health and vulnerability analysis of a petrochemical industry complex in a city close to Rio de Janeiro. Another one we are just right now starting to work on is on social environmental conflicts in urban settings and social determinants of health in Latin America. And another one I would like to shortly introduce is the SDHnet project, which the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine is also involved in. It's an EU-funded project that's running since 2011, and involves Fiocruz. Involves 3 universities from Latin America, 3 from Africa, and 5 from Europe, including a London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. And the objective is to build capacities, or strengthen capacities for research on social determinants of health, and based on a mapping exercise where we did some mapping on the research production in this field in these countries, especially in Latin America and Africa. And then we are right now developing teaching material, courses on this issue, focusing on different audiences, also policymakers especially. Another issue we supported studies on social determinants of health, and then one of the results was this publication, a special issue on social determinants of health, which is also available online. And then the portal, which I already mentioned, it includes the observatory. It's included in there. We have news of interest on social determinants of health, summaries of and analysis of articles on social determinants of health, opinions, interviews. What's important here is that we are trying to do this translation of scientific language to other languages, let's say, to make it more accessible, the information to and to support civil society actors and policymakers in taking decisions on social determinants of health. So this is an example of our portal. Actually, one of the authors is sitting here, Mario, who wrote this article here. And as you see, there's the observatory is also accessible here. We have news, opinions. The whole portal is in Portuguese. But it's a very interesting experience that we have been sharing, for example, with our Mexican colleagues and with our Colombian colleagues, and are engaging in collaborations with them. And I think I would like to express this invitation also to you, because I think it's a very interesting collaboration that can be going on here. So then also the virtual health library. We developed a specific library on social determinants of health to also facilitate access to information. This is in Spanish, in Portuguese, and in English. So it's linked to the Borde network, and also very interesting resource. Another initiative, also just to finish, are the regional conferences. As I said, we've been trying to strengthen the links between the different actors working on social determinants of health, and one of the mechanisms was rather to establish online networks, but also another one was to start having regional conferences where civil society members, researchers and policymakers come together and share their knowledge and define strategies towards action on social determinants of health. The first one in the series that is being planned was in Recife, with the major support of Fiocruz Pernambuco and with the researchers that are there. The other issues that also recognizing that Brazil is a very diverse country. So the first one was in Recife, and there was a working document was elaborated, 400 invited participants, lots of people participating online, and so it has been a very good experience. The next one will probably be in the north. And one of the results was that we set up a portal, the same thing, just for the northeast, to have it very specific for this for issues that are really relevant for this region. Thank you very much. Here's my contact, and I would also really like to invite you to check out our portal and the observatory.